Here we are back again with another certified banger from Fox, a certified classic, HouseBroken. And this show went on for count 'em, 2 seasons before getting canceled. And doesn't that just scream the beauty of it all, the elegance of it all, the thought behind the show, the execution, the passion? It screams that they wanted to make something that would go on for a long time, and god damn it, they did it. I honestly feel like when Fox is pitching shows to people, they don't even have different people want to do it. They just go down to the basement and they find a man named, I don't know, Chowvon Davius. They walk up to him. He's currently getting milked. He has a chain around his neck. He's scratching on the door, begging to be let out. But then they pull up and they pull out a giant Homer Simpson donut, and he just starts doing the Fenny nod, just like, please give it to me. They hand him the donut, and that's when he pitches a brand new show that is just like every single other show that they made with a slightly different twist. And that's when we get shows like this, which is basically, I don't know, The Simpsons, Family Guy, all those shows, but focusing on dogs. And so far it's all right. I've only watched 1 episode. I decided to start off with the first episode, which just so happens to be the worst episode in the series, Who's a Good Girl? And I don't know, there's certain things and certain aspects that you could focus on when you're making a show that's in relation to animals, and they kind of focused on all of the wrong aspects here, because what is a defining character trait about a Fido, about a dog, you know? Loyalty? Perhaps, you know, being hilarious and adorable? No, they decided to focus on the fact that they throw up and like to eat it, they piss a lot, and they rip stinky, voluptuous ass. God, that's gonna make a perfect adult sitcom. Oh, God, give it lots of money to make it super interesting and super wonderful. It's just odd that they decide to focus on that dynamic of animals instead of doing anything actually interesting with it. The episode opens with them having a therapy group with dogs, which sometimes is funny, sometimes is not. It didn't really get me right away because instead of telling really good comedic dog jokes, they decide to focus on a character named Elsa, who is all like, oh, well, you know, I'm a dog and I have pronouns too.
I prefer not to be limited by the good dog, bad dog binary. It's a spectrum, and I live somewhere between compliant and frisky.
And that's the entire joke. There's nothing else to it. I don't give a shit that the dog has pronouns, but you're making that the entire joke of the scene, that you have to point out that she in fact has pronouns and she's politically correct. That doesn't even make sense in the context of a dog show. Why are we doing this? So they're all doing that, and apparently Honey, who is the main character voiced by Lisa Kudrow of all people, that was kind of surprising. Her best friend dog died, and she's kind of in denial about it, so they're all talking in this big group about it, and she's having dreams about her friend going on, and that means she has to move on. And then we get a first look into the beautiful ideas that the show possesses, where Honey's talking to her boyfriend dog named Chief, and he just starts ripping ass in between every single sentence, and he's like, I basically get the gist of it. Oh yeah, you know, I understand.
But the basic gist of it was
yeah, and just starts, you know, ripping that stank at every single second. And that's where the show was starting to lose me a little bit. Because it's one thing if you do that kind of joke once. I mean, haha, they're dogs. They wouldn't care about controlling their bowely functions. But then you just keep on doing it over and over again, because the next scene, the hinging joke, is the fact that Chief runs up and takes an immense emphasis on pissing.
mine, and mine.
Yes! Yes! Piss everywhere! Do it! A golden stream! A yellow tsunami! God, I'm laughing! And in all honesty, it's not really my problem with them going to bathroom being the main joke. It's not like it's the most grotesque thing ever. It just seems a little bit odd that we're gonna be making an adult sitcom here, and you're gonna hinge a lot of the scenes and a lot of the jokes on them taking a shit, taking a fart, taking a piss. It's just a little bit odd. I can't imagine anybody coming home and watching Fox Network after their big old shift, and they're just like, oh yes, quite exquisite. Oh, look at that dog take a little pissy. Divine. It's just a little bit odd to me to focus on it, but it's not like it's the worst thing ever. I'm just complaining because I was expecting better jokes, to say the least. So we then cut to this one scene, which I actually did find funny, and then they absolutely soiled it. We have a human who has a pet fish, and they tell their fish to not get in the liquor cabinet, and I was expecting a little bit of whimsy. The fish would be hopping from water glass to get all the way up into that liquor cabinet, dropping a divine bottle down, and just chugging that liquor as a fish, and we get drunk fish. That's not what happens. The entire joke is that the fish can't move because the fish is in a bowl, and I actually found it to be pretty entertaining.
And Bubbles, stay out of the liquor cabinet.
And they say women aren't funny.
I like that joke. I thought it was funny. It was just like, haha, you're stuck in a bowl, bitch. Can't move. Can't do nothing. But then they do that same joke 4 times over and over and over again about the fish hating its life because it's stuck in one place, and it kind of lost all of its whimsy. It was a little bit sad, but I could look past it, I guess, because then we get to the goddamn turtle, and the turtle's a little bit of a freak. We have another therapy session where, once again, we have our pronoun dog, which, again, wouldn't be that big of a deal if they didn't put so much emphasis on that being the main thing about her character, and you have Honey struggling with the loss of her friend, and they just basically argue in a big old circle for a while, and that wasn't very entertaining. But we get this turtle who is just basically a certified freak. Like if Oogway from Kung Fu Panda was going around just paying every single animal in town to just go down on him, give him that good slow turtle love, that's basically what this turtle would be. He's a little bit of a freak. He saw this eyeball poking out of a bush, and he wanted it really bad. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know if he could make a move on it. He was scared to try. But eventually, he walks up to that thing, tells it, I want you, girl. I like you, and I want you. Now, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. The choice is yours. And the turtle proceeded to just get down and dirty with something that didn't respond even remotely, and it turned out to be a croc. Not an alligator, a shoe.
I'm falling for you.
Dear Lord! He got down and dirty with a shoe, and it was honestly a pretty funny scene because he was like, I didn't even realize till after I finished. Okay, man. So you walked up to it and didn't say anything, and you just immediately put it in? God, that's the problem with turtles these days. Always just grabbing whatever they want, not taking things slow anymore. It's a real problem. But either way, I found that scene to be pretty funny. So we eventually have even more ass ripping as they're sharing in therapy, where a pig apparently sat on a lap and farted on a woman. Again, another entire joke of a scene is just putting emphasis on the fact that a big old pig rips some stank, which is just such a odd thing to focus on. I really don't get the emphasis there. And they're once again talking in therapy, and what's the clinging joke that we're gonna have for this scene, where Honey is saying that everybody, I just don't know how to process my grief, I don't know how. We have Chief in the background doing what dogs like to do, just scraping his cheeks against the grass, going,
In my own life that I need to.
Yes, God, this is what I signed up for when I wanted to watch this. I wanted to watch dogs scrape their asses on the floor because, haha, I've seen a dog do that before. That means it's funny. Yes. God, gotta love it, gotta need it. So eventually Honey realizes that the best thing for her is to forget her best friend passed away and to say goodbye to her and try to move on. So she goes to the beach and gets rid of her ball. And like, I think this next joke just really sums up everything about how I feel about this show, where there's this very emotional moment where she's getting rid of a ball and saying goodbye to her friend, and then just a random duck shows up and says, do you like to get freaky? What? The fucking Diddy duck over here just staring at the dog asking to get freaky. The dog says what? And he says, you heard me.
You like to get wet?
Excuse me?
You heard me.
No, thank you.
Dogs aren't allowed.
Honey says no, and the duck flies away after not having his diddler passions get the job done. He wasn't used to it. Perhaps he needed to bring some baby duck oil to really get it done. That was just weird. I don't know. That entire scene just sums up basically my entire feelings. A joke with no purpose, no setup, just exists, just Diddy duck. Okay. So, they then go home, honey, that is. She goes home and she's enjoying herself, and that's when she sees a coyote outside who is literally just mogging her, puffing out his chest, just being like, yes, I'm look maxing. Do I look so good? Oh. And she wants to go up to that coyote because she wants something brand new and fresh in her life. And Chief comes outside, barks at it, proceeds to throw up, and then eats all of his throw up to end the episode on one of the greatest jokes I've ever seen in any form of media, a dog eating throw up.
Oh, still warm.
And in all honesty, it's not the worst thing ever. I'm probably not describing it in the best light, but this is just exactly what's happening in this episode, and I don't find it to be that interesting. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. I've seen a lot worse, but it's just not that fun, and at times it's really boring. I feel like the emphasis on focusing on bowel movements instead of trying to come up with unique concepts with the animals is really boring to me. It just feels lazy. It just feels like a waste, especially when they have a pretty star-studded cast that can do the range to do some really interesting things within the show. And I know this is the worst episode. I know this is the first episode, but I'm really hoping that they decide to take a different turn and the other episodes that I watch are a lot better than this, because if they're not, this show is going to go down as a certified piece of dog shit. Get it? Because it's about talking animals. Yeah, I'd give it like a 4 out of 10 for this episode. Now taking a look at one of the best episodes in the series, it's going to be the episode Who's Afraid of Boomsday again, and I just need to highlight how freaky this turtle is. He got even freakier. In the previous episode, he was doing the nasty with the croc, with the shoe, getting all up in that, loving that thing. He named it Linda, for God's sakes. But here, oh man, does he just turn it up to the next level. Again, if this turtle was compared to Master Oogway and Master Oogway was acting like this turtle, he would probably say things like, oh, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why I'm taking you to the island. And then he would do unspeakable things to whoever he's talking to, because that's just what this turtle does. At the beginning of the episode, they're all terribly afraid of fireworks, and I already immediately like this episode a lot more than the other one, because it's focusing on an aspect of dogs that is a lot of fun. Animals being afraid of Boomsday, of the day of fireworks, where there's just raining thunder constantly, non-stop. It's actually a fun thing to make an episode for, especially in an adult sitcom about dogs, to see how they truly view the world when it's just raining hellfire. And just immediately they're all panicking, they're all being freaky. Honey is trying to get them to all stop freaking out because of the giant booms in the sky, and they all start running outside of the house, and so does the turtle. And Honey's like, no, what are you guys doing? The turtle has the just audacity to turn around, the slow look, a slow glance, and just be like, sorry, teacher. Have I been a bad boy? I guess you'll have to punish me.
We were bad students. Get the paddle.
Whoa! Whoa! What the fuck? He was asking for the paddle. He wanted a good old smack on that ass. Dear Lord, when did this devolve? And I understand I'm going from season 1 to season 2, but does the turtle just progressively become a masochist and want it bad? Want a good punishment? That's not what I was expecting from the turtle. But, can't say I'm not all for it, because he's the best part of this entire episode, and I love it. So the human mother sees that the dogs are struggling, so gives them some pills so that they could pass out and take a little bit of a snooze, trying to get out of this horrible, atrocious situation. So they both start having their own dreams. Chief is having a good dream where he is a political advisor to go and try and stop Boomsday from ever existing, going all the way to the White House. And this episode does jokes about dogs so much fucking better, because instead of like, look at that dog, it's pooping, they actually decide to do puns, which isn't like the most enthroping comedy. It's not gonna get me like knee slapping or shaking in my boots with pure excitement, but it got me to chuckle when he meets the turtle, and then the turtle doesn't trust him, so he's all like, I got some news, this guy's digging around for some information, we gotta stop him. And you just see Chief actually digging a hole in the background, and it's a little bit of a pun because digging for information.
Digging around where it doesn't belong. And when he's done with that, I think he's going to do some investigating.
Oh, that's quite more enjoyable than pissing. I like it a lot more. So he's running around trying to figure out this entire situation, and then we cut to Honey in her dream, and she wants to drive far away from Boomsday forever, so she gets in a car. She leaves Chief, her boyfriend, and initially I thought this was going to go in a much darker place because she's about to leave her house, and it shows Chief as a, like, 500-pound big man, and he's all like, "Wait, who said you could leave the house?" And I don't know, I mean, if a big old bowling ball was telling me that I couldn't leave the house, I'd probably just roll him over and watch him fucking just be on his back, just trying to curdle his way up, because the only thing that would help him is a goddamn crane. He can't lift, he needs some Ozempic. So she leaves the house, runs away from that guy, gets in a car, and just starts driving. I found her plotline to be a little less interesting than Chief's. I mean, both plotlines are kind of just a equal amount of interesting, but just like, some of the scenes are a little bit more boring. She's mainly just driving and getting annoyed by whoever she is driving with. And so we cut back to Chief, and he's having a rough time because no politician wanted to listen to him, because politicians don't actually do anything. They just sit there and, I don't know, touch children. So Chief, he's walking through the street, and I like their take on a hooker, an animalistic take of a hooker, because this, like, gerbil comes out of nowhere and is all like, "Oh, hey, big boy, you want a belly rub? I could give you a good belly rub." Oh my God. That's diabolical. I'll give you $50. So Chief, he starts walking away and eventually, like, meets Big Boom, which I think is supposed to be a joke on Big Pharma. Like, they're running the Big Boom and they're not going to stop, and they find, like, the guy who's in charge of it all. And again, I like this scene because the villain's all like, "You don't have the balls to stop me." And Chief is like, "Damn right I don't have the balls. They were taken from me." He stares down, looks into his pants, and he actually has testicles, and it's like the greatest thing ever.
Can't mean me. I don't have any balls. I have balls.
These are the types of things that I want for animal jokes from an animal show. Like, silly stuff like that. It's great. Like, I wouldn't expect, like, all of a sudden for him to look down at his crotch, they start glowing, and he actually has testicles, and it's the greatest thing ever, because in the non-dream world, he don't have any more balls. So it's exactly what I needed so far. I haven't seen a single fart, poop, or pee joke within this episode, and I'm actually enjoying it a lot more. So we then cut back to Honey's storyline, and I didn't expect this at all. She's going on this journey with a bunch of different characters, and eventually robs a store with a cat, and they steal the kibble, and the kibble ends up getting stolen, and she's at a hotel room, and she starts to find the cat really annoying, so she's like, I need someone else, I need them now! And the turtle shows up once again, turns around, has a paddle in his hand, and says, "Have you been a bad girl?" And Honey's immediate response is to turn around and said, yes, I have, and she wants to be pounded, and the turtle wants to pound it.
Well, somebody's been a bad girl.
Ooh, it's me!
Why is the turtle like this, just taking every single aspect of the diddler? It's unbelievably shocking. The turtle eventually dissipates and is gone, but that was still shocking, and my God, the turtle just keeps on getting freakier, because we then cut to a court case that Chief was going through because his protest failed, and he's sitting in the courtroom. And they were supposed to have an insider, the turtle's secretary, who was supposed to be on their side and give them insider information so they wouldn't lose the case. And then all of a sudden the secretary is up on the trial about to speak about the case, and they think they got it locked in the bag. She's not going to say anything bad about us. But then you see the turtle, the man turtle, slowly emerge from underneath where she was sitting. And he's like, "You really think she would be on your side when I could do this?"
You thought you could compete with this?
Oh, okay. So he can use that tongue really good then. Again, not necessarily something that I wanted to know about Senor Turtle. He can use that tongue real good. Okay. So eventually, Chief goes to meet the president, who turns out to be Honey in his dream, and there's a bomb threat, and he ends up getting launched into the air and falls onto the Big Pharma, the Big Boom CEO, and sucks him inside of his ass. Yeah, and that's how they defeat him, and that's how the dream ends for there. And that's pretty much it. Honey's story ends with her not liking talking to just herself, and that's pretty much it. This episode was definitely a lot better than the first one I watched. It doesn't mean that it's the most amazing thing ever, but I will say that it had entertainment value and I was laughing a lot more. So overall, that's a positive thing. I don't know, I kind of felt like it was a little bit rushed in a lot of places because they were doing two separate stories, and sometimes when they would switch, it wasn't really a good cutoff line because you have something really interesting going on, like, I don't know, the turtle wanting to pound it, and then you cut back to Chief and he's just in a courtroom, and then you get to see the turtle again, and he, you know, wants to use that thing, wants to use that tongue, but it's just a very weird blend of the stories, and they don't really work together very well. But overall, I still found it very entertaining. If I was to rate this episode 1 to 10, I would probably give it a solid 6 out of 10. I still found it to be pretty decently entertaining, and overall, I enjoyed myself. So I'm not going to complain about it too much. It's just definitely not the greatest thing I've ever seen. HouseBroken is honestly exactly what I thought it was going to be, and that is just painfully mid. This show does absolutely nothing to stand out. It's basically just like Crapopolis or The Great North, where they're just shows that aren't Futurama, Family Guy, The Simpsons, or Family Guy, shows that aren't really going to get a lot of screen time or a lot of runtime on Fox, shows that are just given a really short development time to fit into that cycle of cycling through a bunch of new shows that are all kind of the same concept with a slightly different twist that are never really going to just extend beyond the horizon and break out into a really successful show. That's what Fox really likes to do. So, in all honesty, can't really recommend the show, but it can honestly give you a couple of laughs, so I'm not going to say that you shouldn't watch it. I just wouldn't really recommend it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe. Trying to do a good mix of some longer content with the shorter content just to see what people like a little bit more. That's why this one is a little bit shorter. So yeah, I really appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.